Myth number 1. You can survive the Institute explosion while being inside it. So I'm going to try and survive the massive explosion of the Institute, the one we usually witness from afar atop the mass fusion building. However, I won't be inside the Institute itself because nothing actually happens within that cell. Instead, I'll trigger the explosion and position myself directly in front of the CIT building, which sits above the Institute and its reactor. Let's see if I can survive the blast. Alright, wow. And just like that, the CIT building is gone, leaving a giant hole behind. I am taking a lot of radiation damage, so I need to get out of here. But I did survive the explosion itself while being inside it, so myth confirmed. Myth number 2. You can block and derail the roller coaster in Nuka Galaxy by placing heavy objects on its track. To test this, I placed various large objects, cars, boxcars, and even a boat, directly on the roller coaster's track. Let's see if they can derail the rocket and stop the ride. Here we go!
Fire thrusters!
Okay, it went through the car. Can the bus stop it?
Quantum speed!
Nope, passed straight through. Now for the last big obstacle. And the ride keeps going. It seems the rocket can just pass through anything. Myth busted. You can survive standing under the XMB booster engine in ArcJet systems as it fires. Usually, when running under the booster engine while it's firing, you pretty much die instantly. It can kill anything from a behemoth to a Mirelurk queen. Still, I'm going to attempt to endure it. I'll get into my power armor and have 100 stim packs on me. I'll position myself under the engine, and as it fires, I'll start spamming the stim packs while the booster engine burns me. Yeah, I did it! It was close, but you can survive standing under the booster engine as it fires. You can shoot and kill vertibird pilots while they're flying. For this myth, I'll need the Penetrator perk, which lets you deal damage to enemies in VATS, even if they're behind cover. Alright, let's go for it! Oh yeah, the pilot literally just fell right out of the vertibird. What's funny is that the vertibird just keeps flying around, even without anyone actually piloting it. You can save Finn in Good Neighbor from Hancock. When entering Good Neighbor for the first time, Finn will try to extort you for caps. Before the situation escalates, Mayor Hancock steps in, resulting in an argument between the two, and ultimately Finn's death. But is it possible to save Finn? And what happens if you do? To test this, I will use a mod that disables the essential status of all NPCs in the game, making it possible to kill Hancock. Then I will enter Good Neighbor, and instead of speaking to Finn, I will use a stealth boy and take out the mayor. Now I'll wait till Fahrenheit calms down and stops searching for me. Okay, now something interesting happens. Rather than standing around like he normally would, Finn will walk over to the third rail bar and start hanging around there instead. He does sometimes die when he enters the bar for no clear reason, but when he doesn't, he actually has dialogue reacting to Hancock's death.
I ain't got time to hassle you. With Hancock gone, it's time to lay low. Mayor's dead. Good riddance. He was getting soft.
This dialogue is pretty buggy, likely because it wasn't meant to be triggered in regular gameplay, so sometimes it doesn't play at all.
Got things to deal with. Step off.
Also, occasionally, Finn will still act like he's trying to extort you for his insurance money.
I told you, you can't walk around Good Neighbor without insurance.
So in conclusion, yes, you can save Finn from Hancock, and he actually continues to live his life instead of just standing around in one place. You can survive the Moonshiner's shack explosion. Located between Gunner Plaza, Milton General Hospital, and Hyde Park, there's a shack that explodes if you approach it. Since in regular gameplay, you can't get close enough to actually be affected by the explosion, I'll use the TCL console command to get inside the shack before it blows up. Now, let's enable collision again. Wow. Well, now we know that the explosion can actually kill you. Next, I'll put on some armor and see if it's enough for me to survive. Yep, as long as you wear enough armor, you can survive the explosion. You will die if you fly over the Saugus Ironworks furnace in a vertibird. There's a claim that if you fly over the furnace filled with molten lava at the Saugus Ironworks, your vertibird will crash, sending you to your death. To test this, I'll use a mod that lets me build and pilot my own vertibird. I'll direct it to fly right over the furnace to see what happens. Well, nothing happened. I tried a few more times, but it looks like this myth is officially busted. You automatically contract the mole rat disease if your companion gets bitten by an infected mole rat. During the Hole in the Wall side quest in Vault 81, getting bit by any of the infected mole rats will cause you to contract the mole rat disease, permanently reducing your health by 10. But get this, even if you avoid the mole rats yourself, if your companion gets bit, you'll still catch the disease. As you can see, I'm standing on top of this generator while McCready is dealing with the mole rats, and I don't have the disease yet. Now, if McCready gets bit, there it is, I get the disease too. In fact, even if you don't have any companions during this quest, activating the Securitron to help clear out the mole rats will also lead you to contract the disease if it gets bit. Probably a good detail to know. Institute synths hate cats. This is a weird one, but for some reason, Institute synths seem to have a problem with cats. If an Institute synth comes into contact with a regular house cat, they will immediately try to kill it, no matter the location, situation, or even if there's a stronger enemy around. They'll just go straight for the cat. And the poor cats, they don't stand a chance. They can't defend themselves at all. All they can do is run away. Pretty creepy. You can survive a vertibird crash if you're wearing power armor. Normally, when the vertibird you're flying in gets shot down, it explodes and kills you along with it. But what happens if you're wearing power armor? To test this, I hopped into my power armor and flew around the behemoth at Fort Strong, who pelts the vertibird with rocks. Let's see if I can survive the crash. Whoa! I thought I was dead for a second there, but yes, it looks like you can survive a vertibird crash if you're wearing power armor. You can kill John Caleb Bradburton without pulling the power switch in the Nuka World DLC. In the quest Cappy in a Haystack, Bradburton, the inventor of Nuka-Cola, asks you to shut down the machine that's keeping him alive. But is it possible to just kill him using regular weapons? I first tried using the alien blaster, then Adam's Judgment Super Sledge, a rocket launcher, and finally the Fat Man. However, none of them seem to affect him. Just to add, I did disable the essential status for all NPCs, but even then, it appears Mr. Bradburton cannot be killed without pulling the power switch. What's funny is that if you look closely at his head after the power is shut off, his eyes are still moving, so I'm not even sure if he's actually dead after that. The salvaged Assaultron head can be used as a stim pack. We know that the salvaged Assaultron head from the Automatron DLC gives 50 or fewer rads every time you fire it, depending on whether you have the rad resistant perk. But did you know that with the Ghoulish perk, the weapon can actually function as a crude stim pack? Watch as I fire the head and the radiation heals me. Another interesting feature of this weapon is that you can throw grenades while the Assaultron head is equipped, and it will still cause radiation damage without you needing to fire it. Gas canisters will explode if you shoot them while they're underwater. Normally, when you shoot gas canisters, they burst into flames. But what happens if you throw them in the water and then shoot them? Nice, they do explode. Cool. It takes 10 artillery shells to kill a behemoth. I'm gonna set up 5 artillery pieces at the castle, each manned by a Minuteman and Curie. Next, I'll spawn in a regular behemoth and toss an artillery smoke grenade right at its feet. Now, let's speed up the in-game time and see how many shells it takes to bring down the behemoth.
Nice.
And there it is, 10 shells, myth confirmed. Heavier items do more damage than lighter items when shot out of the junk jet. I'm going to test whether heavier items do more damage when fired from the junk jet. First, I'll shoot a super mutant with a bowling ball, which has a carry weight of 8. Then I'll use a stack of pre-war money, which has 0 carry weight. Alright, bowling ball first. Now, I'll reload my save and shoot the super mutant with the pre-war money stack. Well, it looks like it did the same amount of damage. It doesn't seem to matter how heavy the junk item is. Myth busted. Power armor protects you from molten lava. When you step into one of the pots filled with molten lava or molten metal in the Sagas Ironworks, you die instantly. But what happens if you're wearing power armor? Let's find out. Ouch, same result, you die instantly. What about the one outside? Can I survive jumping into it with power armor? Yikes, nope, this one's definitely busted. A sugar bombs box can stop bullets. I'm going to test whether a sugar bombs box can actually stop a bullet. To do this, I'll place the box in front of an NPC and see if I can shoot through it to injure or kill the NPC. First, I'll shoot a flare to see if it passes through the box. Nope, it didn't. Now, let's try it with an actual bullet. Again, the bullet didn't go through. I tried this a few more times, and every single time the box stopped the bullet. So it looks like the sugar bombs box can indeed stop bullets. Myth confirmed. Shooting a Molotov cocktail mid-air makes it explode like a regular fragmentation grenade. Alright, I got a Molotov cocktail ready. Now I'm going to try to shoot it with my unique deliverer pistol. Oh yeah, it does explode like a regular frag grenade. Myth confirmed. You can survive living on an isolated barge in survival mode. To test this, I placed my level 1 character on a barge near the Spectacle Island, with the rules that I couldn't leave or swim to gather resources. I could only use what was available on and around the barge. So there's a gourd, an empty bottle, some radax, and wild tar berries growing in the water. That's about it. I tried surviving by sleeping for 24 hours at a time, drinking irradiated water when thirsty, and eating the tar berries. Unfortunately, the tar berries only regrow once a week, which isn't enough to keep me from starving. But so basically, I ended up living like an NPC, sleeping, drinking water, and waiting for the next batch of tar berries to grow. After around 10 in-game weeks, I finally died from a combination of radiation, hunger, and disease. However, if you level up and unlock perks like lead belly and radiation resistance, you can live on the barge indefinitely. While you'll still starve, any damage taken from that can be healed by drinking water, and lead belly will prevent radiation damage. So, under the right conditions, you can survive living on an isolated barge in survival mode. You can use harpoons to climb walls. For this experiment, I'm going to build a wall and see if I can scale it by shooting harpoons into it with my harpoon gun. Alright, let's give it a try. I'll shoot some harpoons and attempt to climb all the way to the top. Nice, it worked! You can indeed use harpoons to climb walls. Myth confirmed. The Thirst Zapper in the Nuka World DLC can heal painted feral ghouls. There's another myth out there claiming that if you shoot painted feral ghouls, mostly found in Kitty Kingdom, with the Thirst Zapper, their health will regenerate. So here's a painted ghoul with half its health gone. Now I'm going to shoot it a couple of times with the Thirst Zapper. Yeah, it doesn't seem to work. I even tried modifying the Thirst Zapper using the Project Cobalt schematics, which allows me to use special Nuka-Cola, Cherry, and Quantum ammo, but that didn't heal the ghouls either, so I think this one's busted. You can make a trapper explode while he's sitting on the toilet. With my sneak skill maxed out, let's see if I can blow up this trapper while he's sitting in the outhouse. Ooh, I don't know what he ate, but whatever it was sure explosive. If you kill any of the disguised deacons, he will die permanently in the game. For those who don't know, before meeting Deacon at the railroad headquarters, he can actually be found stalking you in 4 different locations. In Bunker Hill, disguised as a regular trader, in Diamond City as a security guard, in Good Neighbor as a drifter, and in the Memory Den while using one of the loungers. Since he is set as unkillable, I will disable his essential status and start by taking him out in Bunker Hill. Now, let's see if he appears in Diamond City. Keep in mind that I haven't visited the city yet. Oh, he's still alive. Alright, I'll kill this one too. Let's head to Good Neighbor now. It looks like it doesn't matter if you kill him in other locations. He will still appear. So I decided to do one last test and take out both the Drifter version and the one in the Memory Lounger to see if he would still show up at the old church.
And you are? Deacon, where have you been?
You're having a party. What gives with my invitation?
And yes, he does. So unfortunately, killing Deacon while he's disguised will not remove him from the game permanently. Brotherhood scribes will die if they stand on the walkway during Liberty Prime's startup. When starting up Liberty Prime in the Ad Victorium quest, he will break the walkway in front of him. But what if there are still Brotherhood scribes on it? Will they just disappear, or are they set as essential? Let's find out. So there are 3 scribes just kinda hanging out in front of Prime's head, completely unaware of what's about to happen. Okay, I'll start up Liberty Prime.
System analysis. All systems nominal. Weapons hot. Mission: the destruction of any and
Oh my
all
god, they all died.
communists.
Prime just doesn't care. You won't take damage from fragmentation grenades underwater. To test this, I'm going to throw a frag grenade into the water and quickly dive in right after it, making sure I'm fully submerged when it explodes. Nope, you still take damage, even while underwater. You can destroy the town of Far Harbor with synth relay grenades. For this myth to get busted, I'll first disable the AI for a bit and spawn 10 synths using 10 relay grenades. There's no limit to how many synths you can teleport in. It all depends on how many grenades you have. For this experiment, I've decided to bring in 10 synths. Now, let's re-enable the AI and see if the synths can do it.
Primary sensor critically damaged. No life signs detected.
Wow, they did it! Turns out you only need 10 first-gen synths to take out Far Harbor. You can pop the kickballs and basketballs found throughout the game. I've always wondered what happens if you shoot a basketball with a gun. Will it pop or deflate or something? Let's see. Huh, nothing happens. It just bounces away. What about the kickball? I've definitely seen some laying around all deflated. What? That's disappointing. Turns out you can't actually pop them. You can sleep in the tents found in the Far Harbor DLC. I didn't know this until researching for this video, but you can actually sleep in these tents found around the island. A pretty useful thing to know, especially if you're playing on survival mode. These 2 tents are located at the National Park campground, but there are a few others spread across the island. You can kill the fish in Far Harbor. I'm not sure if many players notice, but there are actual fish swimming in the water in Far Harbor, so I want to test if you can kill them, and maybe even add them to your inventory. First, I'll try with my 10mm pistol. Nothing. Next, let's toss a frag grenade. Nope, still alive. Okay, how about a mini nuke? Nope, they're still swimming like nothing's happening. So, it seems you can't kill the fish swimming in Far Harbor. You can shoot down the Pridwin when it arrives in the Commonwealth. After finishing the Reunion's main quest and dealing with Kellogg, you'll witness the Brotherhood's airship, the Pridwin, arriving in the Commonwealth. But is it possible to shoot it down right there and then? I've got a couple of rockets ready. Let's see if I can blow it up.
We are the Brotherhood of Steel.
The rockets went straight through it. I don't think I can actually damage it at all. It seems like it's more of a ghost ship flying through the air until it docks at the airport. So you definitely can't.